and friends of CCP Podcasting Productions, welcome back to Behind the Curtain Watch-Alongs. I am Chris Page. I've got Rob from RT Gaming, Artec Gaming. I'm sorry, I botched it already, and it's, it's just what I do. What's up, man? How are you? It's been a hot minute.
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Dude, I'm trying to do the best I can with what I got, but I just can't seem to keep up. That's where I'm at. It just seems to be a thing. The passion project continues, and it continues to evolve and take on different forms. This is your fourth time on. We've did a shoot before, but a lot has happened since the first go around of our videos, and it's just good to circle back around. What's going on out on your channel? Everything still cooking with grease over there?
I kind of had a brief period where I got a little too into my head, and was letting some real life issues get to me, so I wasn't uploading hardly at all. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. I just uploaded a video recently. It's a Doom 64 Dark Citadel level, and I already had somebody tell me that it made their day, so I guess they like Doom.
Hey, man, that's why we're here. If you'd have told me fucking, 4 months ago that I'd hit, 10,000, 12,000 people a month, I'd call you a liar. But that's where we're at, and that's kind of where we're going. Our trajectory just continues to climb, and it's all about professional wrestling, dude. Like, this is it, man. It's what brings everybody together, I feel, and I know that my channel, the people that have elected to subscribe, really have a feel for some old school stuff. I remember the first time I had you on, we looked at some Samoa Joe stuff, some Kurt Angle stuff, not so much of the older stuff. And I asked you, hey man, what do you want to take a look at? And you surprised me.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to do, and I felt like, well, better to surprise you than to piggyback off of something that I watched a while back with Wahoo McDaniel versus Greg Valentine. It was the match the infamous I broke Wahoo's leg match. Well, I got to thinking, and because I hadn't had Wahoo on the channel since then, and back in the day, and I'm not saying that the match that we're going to see is in the same vein of that time frame or that timeline by any means, but back in the day, Ric Flair and Greg Valentine were a tag team. And also in the same vein, Wahoo McDaniel had a pretty good feud with Ric Flair. So what better way to kick off this party than with a Ric Flair Wahoo McDaniel match?
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and get us started here, and I'm not 100% on the date of this, but
the dates get a little muddy, but
Wahoo's got a strap here, though.
That should make it easy to look up if anybody wants to in the audience. Look up your championship histories. They're online in long curated lists.
Oh, this is definitely post Valentine Flair. Flair's got the belt, so this is going to be later on in their career. Damn it! I was hoping to grab one that predated Flair's run with the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But that's again part of the fun for me is I don't look at the matches, bro. I just grab them and so let me see that and go from there. I like to kind of
surprise yourself too.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the older stuff like this I haven't seen, so it's just it's fun. It's interesting to just pick stuff apart and see what shakes. Well, now that I know that it's a Flair match and it's for the NWA Championship, I know that we're going to see some stiff stuff, and their history is enough to play off of. They think they traded the U.S. Championship, and I think Wahoo's about one of the only men on the face of the fucking planet that can chop with Flair. Could probably out-chop Flair, truth be told.
Well, let's see what happens.
I got that lockup right there. Nothing happening.
I'm not seeing anything on the screen.
You're not seeing anything on the screen.
It's just says
Flair's got him back in the corner. Wahoo ain't taking that shit.
work harder for it. If I remember right, Wahoo was a pretty big hard ass back in the days too.
I don't know if I would say he was a hard ass. I think that he had high expectations.
Yeah, he took it very seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was the last of a dying breed, really. Got Flair here taking him back with a... Oh, nope. Wahoo's going to power him down there into an armbar.
So Flair on the canvas and Wahoo McDaniel working on the bar.
Brother, I'm telling you, we've upped the game a little bit on our side of the coin. We got live streams happening on Mondays and Thursdays. I've got Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, actually.
I understand you're a busy guy,
bro. It just doesn't stop. But it's
that's called the grind.
I'm saying, if you want to be successful at anything, you got to put the work in to do it.
No.
I mean, the push to 500 is very real. As soon as we do that, we're gonna look at opening up a Patreon account, and then the sky's the limit. So I've legit have, I don't know, 7 shows in my head that I can't do right this second because I can't air them. But I can if we get the Patreon up and going.
I take it they're more current, so you're like having to. Ooh,
more than
there
that.
we go.
More than that, buddy. More than that. It's gonna be good shit. Oh, Wahoo almost messed up there, and he
almost headbutted him in the nuts.
And McDaniel was about to. You see him rear for that chop, and Flair put on the fucking brakes real quick.
And then onto the floor, and he wasn't quite sure what had happened. He thought,
oh
man, how he came in there that time. He clobbered.
That's just hey there.
People forget that Flair was an incredibly good seller too. Although with Wahoo, you didn't have to sell much, but I mean, Flair always made you look like you were fucking murdering him every show.
Oh yeah. In the E-Fed world, that's how I portrayed the Page character in the ring. Flair had it right. He knew the philosophy. They paid to see me get my ass kicked. You know, if I get my arm raised, very rarely does it need to be clean. It needs to be because of some shenanigans or some fuckery, because they're here to see me get the crap kicked out of me. Any good heel, that's the way that your mind should operate. I'm here to put over whoever I'm in the ring with. And Flair played that role to perfection as the NWA champion, especially with the Horseman in tow. I mean, it was really good shit.
I think it's gone out of strangle back to headlock, brother.
Yeah, Wahoo was very particular. He, headlock, arms, legs every now and then.
I was just listening to the commentary talking about, checking for the stranglehold, and he's already up on the guy's ear, up on Flair's ear with the headlock.
Flair's going to take him back into the corner. What are you going to do, Rick? Flair, you land one. Wahoo just... Oh, that's the one I was looking for. Flair flop. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good. Anybody who knows me, when I watch a Ric Flair match, I as long as I get a Flair flop, I'm okay.
You know, and even at his age now, he still does the tank flare flop, and he will eat that canvas full face every time.
Oh, Flair says, let me take a powder.
Remember when WCW misused the hell out of Flair towards the end there, and they had him like cut his hair and tried to treat him like he was suddenly Spartacus or some shit?
Well, that was the deal. Was Jim Herd wanted him to cut his hair and put an earring in and call him Spartacus, and Flair told him to fuck off. That was in 91, 92 is when Flair went up north. That was a thing. That was actually, but you know, they tried to do it. But his deal with Bischoff was just a whole nother situation. That was one that was nasty. Oh, Flair chop. One chop took Wahoo down.
No, ref, I'm doing my job. Back off.
Big chop.
You hear that lady going woo in the crowd?
Oh, yeah. Snapmare coming out. This is classic wrestling right here. Big knee drop. Vintage.
I like how he updated that later where he does this little tuck and roll when he hits the knee now.
Yeah, yeah. Later on in his career, for sure. He would instead of going off the reps, he'd back up into the corner and do it from the buckles. I used to love that. It used to be a standard Flair move every match. Flair's going to try and hook him here, but getting additional leverage from the ropes. The referee's going to see it there. Oh, nice elbow drop.
Mm-hmm. Wahoo's like, yeah, I can use the ropes too, buddy.
Right. Oof, chop.
So Wahoo catches it. The blow underneath the chin up against the throat, and the champion moves in there to start pummeling him. Reverse armbar. Here's the Wahoo chant.
And Flair basically getting his heat back.
Yeah, the crowd's eating it up.
The Indian love call is still going. Some people giving that tremulous.
Now something else that I used to do a lot, work a limb. Just work a limb over and over and over.
Yeah, back in this time, it was working. You're working the holds. You're not working the crowd. You're really working the hold. Look at that! Just snagged him down by the hair.
Yeah. But that was the thing. They would literally go like in the backstage. They'd be talking to each other, going like, "So, dude's working legs. So I'm gonna work your arm, or I'm gonna work your neck, or something like that." They would always pick a different body part per match. You ever go back and look at them, you'll see that if the guy who does all the technical stuff is going to be doing all the limb hold stuff, saying, "I'm working this arm, I'm working that body part, whatever."
Yeah, I remember when I was in the business, we would always have that. We'd always have a pre-huddle. Who's working what body part? Figure out who's doing what, so it's not all the same.
So Flair went after the arm. It was behind the back.
Which I think is funny that Flair would work the arm, considering his big finish was the figure 4 leg lock.
So Flair with the
Well, you want to save that. You want to save going for the legs. You want to make it to me. If you got a leg submission, you can work on the leg throughout the entire match, no problem. But you have to think about the psychology of that. If you're working the leg the entire match, it's going to be weakened. And yes, you do want that for a figure 4, for anything of that nature. But it takes the impactfulness away versus, let's say, 3/4 of the way working, you work the leg, and then you go into the finish. You go into your figure 4, or if it's an arm submission or what have you. Just depends on how you look at it. You know, not one way is right, not one way is wrong. I could see the effectiveness both ways.
Like trying to negate some of his chopping power if he goes with the other arm. Oh, he's slapping him in the face.
Those open hands are vicious.
Yeah.
Oh, Flair took the referee unassisted, or
Nowadays, the refs seem to be like, you touched him, and they're like, you're out. Back then, the refs will actually start a little shove fight with you.
big Flair flop number 2. First one was better. Suplex.
Well, that's because it was a Flair flop on the run. You don't see that very often, the Flair flop on the run. And now the begging for his life spot.
Flair? Oh my God. Wahoo is smacking the shit out of him. For fuck's sake. Oh, he snaked him. Wait, did we get a pin? No? No, okay.
No, he's getting chopped in the forehead. I don't know why they needed alcohol to celebrate. You get hit in the head enough times, you should be pretty drunk by then.
Right, punch drunk, exactly. Oh my God. Fuck.
They were hard on each other back in them days.
Yeah. Boy, I bet you he wakes up in the morning and knows he was in there with Wahoo. Those are some mean chops. Oh, thumb to the eye.
It'll be a fun match. Wahoo in his prime versus Big Van Vader in his prime.
Wahoo.
2 very stiff, hard workers there.
But Wahoo and Hanson.
Oh, God. They'd both be unconscious by the end of the match.
Uh-oh.
Hanson was known to knock people out.
Kicked out.
That was neat. Tells you how old the backslide is now, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Flair tossed him out to the floor. Oh, posted him.
He has been smashed headfirst into the ring post.
The camera angles were not the best back in those days, though. You got to admit that. They had probably had they had the one. Yeah, they should have the guy right there just the whole time. The crane cam wasn't the best idea there.
Nah. Why is the referee out on the floor trying to officiate it and not in the ring laying the count? That doesn't make sense to me. Why are you overdoing your job?
I mean, but then again, it is said the referees seemed to like to work harder to accentuate stuff and make things pop more. That was their whole thing back then, as well as keep everybody safe and from killing each other.
Oh, big chop, Wahoo. I bet you Flair's chest is going to be fucking purple. Up and over. Up to the top. No. Flair flop number 3. I'm good.
I remember that was a thing. Flair could never get an air offensive off to save his life. Like to the point where the one time he got one off was in WWE, like towards the end of his run with, what was it, Evolution? He got one off, and it seemed to make Triple H mad at him for some reason. Go like, you didn't think I'd find out? And he's like beating up Flair all over the backstage for some reason.
It was very few and far between. I think Flair's failure to success ratio going to the top rep's 90-10. 90% fail, 10%. Yeah.
Makes you wonder why he even tries it.
There it is again. That foot over the rope.
Because it was a hope spot.
Wahoo has come close, but close counts only in horseshoes.
Oh, it goes over the top rope again.
Goes the champion.
Oh yeah, if I remember right, those are concrete unpadded floors too. Because back in the day, they just did not try to keep you safe outside that ring. They wanted it to be dangerous.
Oh, Flair's opened up here too.
Oh yeah, and that was a spectacular spot for him because of his hair.
Oh, he got him. Snaked
Ah.
it. He stole it.
Use the rope repeatedly to avoid being pinned.
Flair's gonna steal the win. Give me your thoughts on the match and give me a match rating.
I definitely give it like a 7.58. It was really classic heel stuff from Flair. He flopped like 3 times. He looked like he was getting murdered most of the time, and then he steals the win at the end. Classic. That's how the heel should. That's the playbook all heels should follow.
Out of 1 to 10, what'd you think?
That's what I said. I think I said it was what 8, about
Oh,
8,
I missed
8.5, somewhere around there.
I was clearing something out on the screen. I missed it. 8.5. I like that.
Yeah.
I thought, for me, it was a good little match. I'm in the 7 range. I think that if I could find something from Flair and Wahoo younger than the 80s like that, the late 80s, then I would probably be on the higher scale with it because they, obviously, you're younger, you can work harder and you can work more. And I think that Wahoo at this point wasn't quite in the best shape and wasn't quite in the prime of his career, but he can still chop like a motherfucker. Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
he was throwing some fucking leather. But at the end of the day, man, I thought it was a really good, it's a good match. It's one that I haven't seen, and it ends with a Flair retention on some shady circumstances. So, you got anything you want to say to the people before we close this out? Where can they find you? Plug your shit. Let's do all the
Artec
good
Games. I'm Artec Gaming. You can find me on Twitter. You can, X now, and maybe not for much longer because Twitter's starting to piss me off in so many ways. But anyways, you'll find me on YouTube here. I'm still doing videos. It's just taking a little bit of time, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of it. And hopefully I'll be able to have regular videos up too, just like this fine gentleman here. Where's the, I don't know where the window is. to motion. That way or that way?
That way.
That way?
Yeah.
That way.
I don't know. Whichever way.
This guy.
This guy, yeah. On my side of the coin, man, I'm glad that you guys joined us. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a subscriber or you're here on the daily content, man, I'm glad to have you. If you haven't already, you should catch us out on Twitch on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Link is down below in the description. You can also find my man Rob's information down there too, just in case you've already forgotten it. Also, you can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, live on Twitch. Let's see what else we got. We got territories and rivalries on the weekend. We got watch-alongs. We got everything happening. The push to 500 is a real thing. Help me if you haven't already. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Get us to 500, and the crew behind the curtain are going to be forced. Not forced, because that's not the word to use. That's a bad word. We're going to be watching back the worst pay-per-view ever put on film. That's the Heroes of Wrestling. That's at 500. That's going to be our next milestone. I guess for Rob, I'm Chris Page, and we'll see you next time.
Snooches.